All right, we're back, and Pax Americana is back, too. The notion that, let's face it, America is the greatest nation on earth. We can beat our problems, and we're gonna. And enough with all the doubts out there. We've got this problem in the hand, and now we're out to fix it. All right, we've been talking to you about the markets. Let's find out what you ought to be buying to make some money tomorrow. And let's start with Eric Marinak at Victory Capital. Give us a quick one.
I think you should still buy Apple. You should buy a company like Monsanto, companies like Celgene. The common thread, high quality, high growth. It's the way to offset the unknowable, and that is if the market decides to come back a little.
Apple, even though the stock is more than doubled and the consumer is supposed to be dead.
It's high quality, clean balance sheet, $26 billion in cash, growing 25% a year.
All right. Good. Scott Richter, Fifth Third. What you buying?
You know, Dennis, I would look at some high beta in the oil patch, so I would look at something like a Weatherford in the service area. They're levered to the emerging markets. I would look at an Apache or an Anadarko. I would look in technology at Microsoft with their new product cycle. I would also look at IBM or Hewlett for stimulus spending, government stimulus spending. And then in biotech, I would look at something like Amgen that has two new products, one that's a bone developing agent called denosumab, which looks interesting, and a colorectal cancer drug called Vectibix.
All right, Microsoft is always the major engine that might. Tom Lydon, ETF Trends. What you looking at?
Well, rather than picking individual tech stocks, buy the whole sector. The technology selects Sector Spider, XLK, also emerging markets. You too can make money like Michael Pinto. Buy emerging markets.
Give us an ETF emerging markets.
VWO, Vanguard Emerging Markets, and finally Claymore's Solar Select ETF. Ticker symbol TAN.
Yeah, solar's so cute. Mike Pinto, what do you got, babe?
Yeah, I actually sold a lot of my precious metal and base metal holdings. I think we are overextended in the short term. And I would look to buy TBT, which shorts the long end of the Treasury curve. TBT, double the inverse of the short end.
And it shorts the long end of the Treasury curve?
20-year plus. Yeah, Lehman Brothers 20-year plus.
All right, good. Joel Miller, Wall Street Capital.
I'm not a stock picker, so I would say buy a house.
Buy a house. Hey, you know what? I went shopping for apartments this weekend, looked at two of them, and man, the price is looking pretty good. Yeah. Dan North
there you go.
At Euler Hermes. What are you buying?
Well, we're a credit shop from the bottom up. We look at companies to see if they're paying their bills or can pay their bills. And from an economic point of view, we strongly believe the economy is recovering. It's going to look good going on from the third quarter on. That said, our business, looking forward for bankruptcies, we still think it's kind of risky everywhere, so we wouldn't really favor any particular industry at the moment.
Okay. Harry Dent, you have a dark view of the world, but even with a dark view, you can make some money. What are you buying?
Yeah, we like shorting the S&P 500 like the SH and ETFs here in the next couple of weeks. Sentiment shows that stocks are near an intermediate top at least, and that the dollar, surprise of all surprise, is near an intermediate low, which does not bode well for commodities near term at least. So we like shorting the S&P, for conservative being cash, and people probably on a lag can buy gold and oil.
Someone write that down, because Harry Dent just said short the S&P, now that it's at 1,002, and I could swear that with it being at 1,000, more individual investors will jump in there and want to share in on it. Jerry Bowyer, what do you think?
I think that the Pax Americana play has been, always will be, technology, ingenuity by the tech sector. It's how we beat the socialists. It's how we globalize. We do it better than anybody has in the history of the world. We have the best technological entrepreneurs known to mankind, and as we're coming out of this recession into recovery, we are going to be so much better and so much more agile than the rest of the world.
Bingo, I love that. Pax Americana personified right there, and the great American Jerry Bowyer. All of you guys are great Americans, even my bearish friends. Thanks very much for being with us. And one of my bigger.com enemies out there, maybe turn around a little bit. We're not BFF yet, but stay tuned. You never know. And check out Squawk Live from inside the Senate tomorrow at 6 a.m. On the agenda, all things Washington, healthcare, cash for clunkers, among others. And we're back in 2 minutes.
Talks on the telephone for hours and hours with the bird in his hand. Do on a string the words of love have an invitation.